Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to lesson 3-7. In this lesson, we're going to work on choosing a strategy to multiply. Now, throughout this chapter, we've learned several different strategies. We're going to find different ways to use them to help us solve different multiplication equations.
What strategy will you use to multiply? Paying for pothole damage to cars can be costly. The table shows the cost of some car repairs. What is the total cost of the repairs? Think about the numbers you need to multiply to help you choose a strategy. Find the cost for the tires, C. 4 times $125 equals C. 4 times 125 is about 4 times 120 equals 480. Break apart 125 into 125 and use the distributive property. C equals 500. The tire repairs cost $500. Find the cost of the paint, Y. 2 times $1,450 equals Y. 2 times $1,450 is about 2 times 1,500 equals 3,000. Use an area model and partial products. 2 times 50 equals 100. 2 times 400 equals 800. 2 times 1,000 equals 2,000. Add the partial products. Y equals 2,900. To paint the car cost $2,900. Find the total cost of the repairs, Z. Which expression gives the total cost of the repairs?
Select your answer.
$500 plus $2,900 equals Z. 500 plus 2,900 is about 500 plus 3,000 equals 3,500. Use compensation to add. 500 plus 3,000 equals 3,500. 3,000 is 100 more than 2,900. Subtract 100. Z equals 3,400. The total cost of the repairs was $3,400.
All right, let's go ahead and get into our notes before we jump into our guided practice. So when we're working on choosing a strategy, we're looking at a lot of different options. So a lot of the things we've already talked about, a lot of the different ways that we already know how to multiply. So some of the strategies that we learned and the properties that we learned that help us are the distributive property, where it tells you if you have 4 times 23, you can break apart that 23 into 4 times 20 plus 4 times 3. We have area models that we use to help show our multiplication. We've used compensation, where we make the numbers easier to work with and then we adjust to make sure that our answer is correct. We also have the commutative and the associative properties. Remember, the commutative property tells you that you can multiply in any order. So 8 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 8. And the associative property is very similar to the commutative, except it uses 3 or more numbers. And it tells you you can change the grouping and still get the same product. So 40 times 5, I can write it as 4 times 10 times 5. And instead of starting with the 4 times 10, I can start with the 10 times 5 if I like. Now let's go ahead and jump into our guided practice for this lesson. Now our first guided practice question tells us that a tire shop sells 3 tires that cost $175 each, which includes a 4th tire for free. Is this more or less expensive than buying 4 tires that each cost $135? So we're going to work this out one step at a time. First thing we need to do is we need to find out how much 3 tires at $175 each costs altogether. So I used my distributive property and I broke apart my 175 into 100 and 70 and 5. So 3 times 100 was 300. 3 times 70, because I know 3 times 7 is 21. So 3 times 70 is 210. And 3 times 5 is 15. When I add all of those together, I got $525 for that first option. For my second option, I did 4 times 135. So 4 times 100 is 400, 4 times 30 is 120, and 4 times 5 is 20. That gave me a total of $540. So now that I've come up with my numbers, I know which one is going to be less expensive, but I need to write out my explanation. I need to tell why I came up with that answer and how I'm defending it. It is less expensive to buy 3 tires for $175 and get the 4th tire free than it would be to buy 4 tires for $135. And I put the math down here. 3 times 175 is 525. That is less than the product of 4 times 135, which is 540. Now for numbers 2 through 5, it says choose a strategy. So for number 2, they had 74 times 6. I used compensation for this one. And I changed my 74 into 70. So 70 times 6, I know 7 times 6 is 42. So 70 times 6 is 420. And then that remaining 4 times 6 is 24. I added those parts together. I compensated and I found that my product, my actual answer is going to be 444. For the second one, it said 819 times 5. I used the distributive property here and I distributed 819 into 800 and 10 and 9. So 800 times 5, I know 8 times 5 is 40. So 800 times 5 is 4,000. 10 times 5 is 50 and 9 times 5 is 45. When I added those parts together, 4,000 plus 50 plus 45 is 4,095. And I labeled that I used a distributive property here. I also use a distributive property for the next 2 problems. So for number 4, 4 times 309. So I did 4 times 300 plus 4 times 9. 4 times 3 is 12. Since we're multiplying by hundreds, I added my 2 zeros to the end to make it 1,200. 9 times 4 or 4 times 9 is 36. When I added those together, I got 1,236. And for my last question in the guided practice, 3 times 354, I distributed again. So 350 and 4. 3 times 3 is 9. So 3 times 300 is 900. 3 times 5 is 15. So 3 times 50 is 150. And then 3 times 4 is 12. When I added together 900 plus 150 plus 12, 900 plus 100 is 1,000. 1,000 plus 50 is 1,050. 1,050 plus 12 is 1,062. And that takes us to the end of our guided practice for lesson 3-7. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.